What up, guys? It's your girl, Phoenix Novell. Thank you so much again for joining me for my Musicians on Gig series. And this video is called Why You Need to Protect Your Music. I've been a songwriter for, oh my gosh, since I was probably about 11, 12 years old. I'm in my 30s right now. Yeah. And it's just second nature to me. I love to write. First of all, I love to write. I'm an author. I'm a poet. I write everything. I'll turn everything into a story. I'm also a screenwriter. Like, I do so much, and writing songs to me, it's just comes so naturally. And I spent probably the latter part of my teenage years into my early 20s writing songs with a very well-known artist. I'm not going to mention his name on here, but he was in a boy band while I was growing up, and I was still a little girl. Very popular, one of the biggest boy bands out there. And I happened to be working with the producer who he knew somehow, and the producer who I was working with told me, hey, Phoenix, this particular artist is looking for writers, I want to connect. And so I told him about you. Would you be interested in working with him? And I was like, hell yeah. I was young. I was very naive. I didn't know much about the business of music. Didn't know much about protecting your publishing or royalties or anything outside of writing a song, and this is the structure, and this is the verse, and this is the B section, and the chorus, and the bridge, and blah, blah, blah. So, me working with this person who I recognized, who I knew, in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, I need to stick with this person because they know more than me, they've done more than me, and if I play my cards right, they could help me, get songs placed, or at least possibly be a well-known writer, for not only my own stuff, but also for other artists. So yeah, things started off really well. I enjoyed the process. I enjoyed being creative, and like, he would get tracks from multiple producers, and we would just be writing. We would be writing from sun up to sun up. I mean, just like, that's all I did, that's all we were doing. We were eat and we write, eat and write, and I would go home. Sometimes I would spend a night. I'll be there for sometimes days and days, and I was like, okay, yeah, I got to go home. Then I'll come back the next week and write. Man, I'm getting flashbacks of those times now, but hundreds of songs. And I remember there was a girl who came over. I think she was from England. She came over to the States, and I believe he was artist developing her and recording songs with her. We got close. Her name was Carmen, and we called ourselves Oreo GC. She was a white girl, and at the time, my artist name was Genesis. So we called ourselves Oreo Genesis Carmen. Shout out, Carmen, if you remember me so long ago. How are you? She had a voice like Celine Dion. I mean, just this girl was just awesome. She came overseas, and her sinuses was just flaring up like crazy anyway. But she still sang her ass off and just went ham. But she had a CD, and on her CD she had cut a song that I wrote. She had recut it when she was in England in the studio, and she had it on her CD. And I remember thinking to myself, that's crazy, because I asked for copies of my songs, and this particular artist that I was working with, that I was writing with, he refused to give me a copy of my songs. He refused to give me a copy of anything that we did. He said, because, it's not protected, copywritten yet, and you don't want to leak it or whatever. But I felt so weird because I'm like, well, how do I know you're not going to do that? We're writing together. You know what I'm saying? I'm not just demoing your stuff. I'm writing this too. But he wouldn't give me a copy. And I remember thinking to myself, okay, but when she had a copy of my song that she had demoed and didn't write, I was just like, nah, that's not going to fly. So we had a long and drawn out conversation, an argument pretty much about it, me and this artist guy who I was working with. And I remember getting up to leave, and he said to me, if you walk out that door, it's over. And I remember thinking in a moment that I didn't have any other option or way to get to my destination, to become a star, but through him. I remember thinking to myself in that moment, is it over for me? Like, if I leave, would that be wise? So I turned around, put my bag down, and I sat down, and I stayed. And that was one of my biggest regrets in my whole life. Because never, ever after that situation did I ever allow anybody that amount of control over me. He was much older than me, you know. And so in my mind, again, I didn't know how this business worked. You know, I knew that I was being emotional. I knew that I was right, but I was thinking to myself, is this worth me letting everything go? And it was, because eventually I walked away and he finally gave me all my music and I was done with him. But it was crazy because in that moment, that wasn't the reality for me. The reality for me was that I needed him to make my dreams come true, because he had already had the success that I wanted and that I saw for myself, and I seen him with my own eyes have that success. And me and Carmen became close or whatever, and she just really opened my eyes to this business and understanding about this industry and artistry. And I make these videos because I think it's important for artists to understand that nobody is in control of your dreams and your visions, and you have every opportunity to educate yourself right now. There's no limitations on the amount of information you can store in your brain about this business, about writing, about placing songs, about publishing, about royalties, about song deals, about advances, about publishing deals, about record deals. I mean, it's just so much information out there for you to ever feel like I felt when I was working with this artist. And it doesn't matter how much success somebody has had. It doesn't matter where somebody else has gone. It doesn't give them the right to take advantage of you or make you feel like you're less of somebody than they are because of what they accomplished. And eventually I stayed, I stayed, but eventually it took him a while to give me all my songs. But by the time he actually did, I had already decided that he was not the one that was going to help me realize my dreams. I was not going to stay tied to somebody who I felt like did not care about me and liked to make me feel like they were my only way, I knew that even as a young adult at the time. So we eventually got so far as to get to the record labels and put on showcases and present my originals and stuff, and garnered a lot of attention. But people show their true colors when there's something on the table, that they value. And so eventually he had a falling out with me and also the producers who was, making the tracks that we were writing to. And eventually he placed the song that I wrote with him with another well-known artist. I found out through the producers who were trying to sue him and you know, really stop him from placing a song without them getting their money for the track. Like, he was basically, he brokered a deal with an artist who was releasing another album that included that song that I co-wrote with him, and he did not give any credit to the producers or split the money that he got for with the producers, you know. So I found out through the grapevine of those producers, like, hey, you know, and luckily he acknowledged that that song was co-written by me. So you will find my name, Doris Ramsey, on the credit of that song. You know, I'm not going to mention the song, but the point is that I didn't copyright that song. I, at the time, was just writing, so excited to be writing. And the thing about writing is that you have to understand that you're tied to whoever you wrote this song with, you know, their energy. And I spent so much time and energy around this person that eventually I didn't even want to be connected with. And all those songs, I still have all that music that when I think about it, when I listen to it, I'm just like, there's a bad taste in my mouth. So protect your music, but not only protect your music, but protect your time, protect your energy. And if you, I don't care, you know, some people might say, yeah, you know, but you can get a good deal and you know, you only need one hit. But the truth is, you never know what's going to be that hit. So all that time and energy you spend on working with somebody who you really don't like, who really doesn't have your back, you know, their energy is becoming your energy. You know, that circle, it's there, no matter how much you try for it not to be. But if they don't care about you and they're using you, or you feel disrespected or unappreciated or anything, it's going to come out in the music. It's going to come out in the way you speak. It's going to come out subconsciously. It's going to come out non-verbally. When I think the best thing is to do for me is to write with people that you enjoy writing with, as well as educate yourself on, you know, how to protect your music. You know, how also the person that you're writing with, educate them on how to protect your music together and what it means, and understand that, you know, when we create something together, it's like you having a child with somebody. You can't pull those two things apart. Some people do all day long. They'll be like, oh no, I'm taking this part because I wrote this, and some people are like, all right, well, I made the track and I'm taking that. But sometimes you make things together, and I'm the kind of person where I would rather keep it right here on the shelf by itself than to try to take away from what we created together, because I don't think that you really can, you know. So once again, I hope this video helped you guys. Musicians on Gig series, coming to you with content about this world of artistry. It's really, really cool. I enjoy it the most, and I'm so grateful that I've accumulated so much experience and so much knowledge, not only as a singer, but also as a writer and producer and an overall artist. And I'm happy to help you guys. So if you have any topics, anything you want to talk about, any questions, anything at all, make sure to leave a comment below and let me know what your feelings are about this. If you had any similar situations where you've written songs or you just don't know what to do and how to go about protecting your material, I would be happy to assist you in any way that I can. Once again, it's your girl Phoenix Novell. Thanks for tuning in. Peace.